Alright, Schlockmeisters fans, we are going to watch Blu-ray here. This one's called Jaws of Satan, killer snake movie. Let's watch. The movie starts aboard a train.
At least my snake's quiet. He just sleeps.
They're transporting some animals, and this guy is transporting a snake in that lockbox. Now this is a bit unusual. The guy goes back to check on the animals, and the snake box, the lock breaks. This guy gets bit, and some sort of force ends up forcing him off the train. Then this guy goes back to check, and if you look closely, you can see the glass in front of him. Did that hit him or the glass? I guess him. Here's our star, Fritz Weaver. He plays Father Pharaoh.
Do you know why a pig is like a saint?
No, Father.
Because he gets more praise after he's dead than when he's alive.
That little girl there is a young Christina Applegate in her acting debut.
May I introduce my daughter, Kim? Ellen is a real live witch.
Are you really? Yes, really.
We learn about Pharaoh's family.
Goes all the way back to the Druids. They burned witches, smashed temples, and carried on like a one-family.
Apparently his ancestors were not great.
Talk to my uncle. He spends most of his time shaking the family tree. Perry, he just...
That real-life witch, Evelyn, detected something. An enemy to the father.
Felt the presence of evil so strongly.
Out in the country, this guy gets bit by a snake. I'm guessing that's his son. He's gonna go whack the snake. But watching is another snake. That's the body from the train.
Christ. What caused that?
Not sure yet. Some kind of puncture.
She calls in a herpetologist.
Here it is, Freeburg Crematorium.
Snake expert. He's going to show him the body, but the body's been cremated already. Well, luckily for them, somebody else got bit. And this one he can see. That's Evelyn.
I've never seen this kind of toxic reaction. I'm not familiar with it.
The local grocery store had a snake too. The sheriff's going to get this one though. Back in her apartment, Dr. Maggie Sheridan, our star, Gretchen Corbett, she's taking a shower, and there's a snake in her house. So she calls Paul from her bed when she spots the snake. He comes over to play hero. She pins the snake against the back of the headboard. And... gross. The mayor's not interested in any of the snake business.
Doesn't matter when I can.
He's got a dog track that's opening real soon.
Will you at least warn the people?
The less people who know about this, the better.
Lives are in danger here.
I'll take that risk.
He kept saying that something...
He learns about his father.
Something was after him, something unspeakable. I thought he was suffering from delusions, paranoid fears.
What happened?
That one day he was found, horribly mutilated. A razor clutched in his hand. The sin
This guy thinks Satan is coming after Father Pharaoh.
He chooses his moment with the skill of a diamond cutter. My guess is that you have never been closer to him. It's your soul he's after. A priest would make a bright flame in hell.
Some kids making out on a bridge, it looks like.
Just a little bit more comfortable, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Later, maybe.
So the police are out looking around, kind of looking for snakes. This guy finds one.
Jack? Jack?
That's the end of Jack.
Come in. What's it?
Meanwhile, at Evelyn's funeral, at the end of it, the king daddy of the lizards shows up. And sure enough, he wants Father Pharaoh. And the chase is on! The snake wanted Pharaoh and only Pharaoh. He let the other guy go. Father Pharaoh jumps in a grave. And he scares away the snake with a crucifix. And it worked. Maggie and Paul are trying to warn the city because the mayor won't do anything.
But his only concern seems to be the dog track.
Here comes the mayor, and he's mad as hell. The mayor says there's no snake problem.
I was nearly killed by a giant snake this morning at Evelyn Down's funeral. If the snake had appeared a few minutes sooner, he would have killed many of the people in this room.
So Maggie was riding down the road, and this motorcyclist pulled out, forced her off the road. He'd been kind of chasing her, being a little rude and crude. Lewd. He's got things on his mind. Just as he was about to rape her, a snake shows up, rescues her basically. She disobeyed the curfew to go get her kitty.
You disobeyed and you might have been hurt. Be grounded for the rest of the week.
But what about the opening tomorrow?
I said the rest of the week.
Daddy.
You heard your mother.
Anyway, the big opening of the dog track, and Christina Applegate decides she's going to sneak in anyway. Since her dad is one of the local bigwigs, she can just walk right in.
Will you, Chief? I've got money to lose.
But guess what happens to her inside there? So Father Pharaoh goes to this cavern nearby. Somehow he knows that the snake is inside. Hence why he's calling for him. Sure enough, that big snake is inside, and get this. It's an altar, and that's Maggie on the altar. How she got on that altar, I don't know. But there she is. Anyway, he chants a little bit of Latin and manages to get Maggie off of there and trade places.
Lord, I am not worthy that you should come under my roof. Speak with the word, and my soul will be healed. Lord, I am not worthy that you should.
So he grabs his crucifix when this light comes in and reflects it onto the belly of the snake. And our big snake goes up in flames. Paul was in there as well. He and Maggie get out of there. Our snake goes up in flames, and that's pretty much the end of our film. Alright, let's talk about Jaws of Satan, which I just watched. This is a movie that I had on a beta tape back in the 80s. I had it on the same tape with Time Rider and Strange Brew. And it's a movie that was never released on, at least not a good VHS. I had an LP VHS tape of this, LP Speed, which kind of sucked. And then it finally got released on Blu-ray from Scream Factory maybe about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. First time ever. It's not available on DVD, just this Blu-ray with Empire of the Ants. This is a movie that I have seen many times over the years. I don't know why. I've just seen it a lot, and it's a movie that I've probably seen this movie more than anybody else in the world. I don't know why. I was watching it today, and there was like lines of dialogue that I knew. It was kind of weird. But anyway, it's kind of like a takeoff of Jaws, Jaws of Satan, Jaws, except with snakes instead of sharks. We have a local sheriff who's not interested in any snake problem. Instead, he's worried about the dog track opening up on time and doesn't want to go scare away tourists, that sort of thing, because that brings in big dollars, right? Meanwhile, there's snakes running all over the countryside killing people. It turns out that Fritz Weaver, the Father Pharaoh in this movie, I guess his faith is a little shaken these days, so he's ripe for the picking for Satan. Apparently, this is weird, Pharaoh's ancestors persecuted the Druids, so the Druids put some sort of curse on him, and that's why the snake is attacking. Now, the snake is a bad guy, though. You'd think if somebody was being cursed, it would be like a good guy, like, we're getting revenge on you. But no, he's being cursed, and he's suffering because he's suffering at the hands of somebody else who's just as bad. I don't know, because the snake is killing everybody, not just going after Father Pharaoh. So, but whatever the case is, because he was the one who brought the snake here, he's got to be the one to take it out. So eventually he gets his faith, and he battles the snake at the end and burns him with the crucifix. Just an odd film. Came out in 1981. However, I believe reading in Leonard Maltin years ago that this movie was actually filmed in 79, but came out 2 years later. Christina Applegate, you saw in this movie. This was her acting debut. She would have been 10 years old in 1981. She looked a little younger here, so that kind of lends credence to it being filmed a couple years earlier. The one who played her mother in this movie was actually her real-life mother, and she's an occasional actress as well. Nobody else of real renown in this movie other than Fritz Weaver himself, although I don't know how much Fritz Weaver has actually done, but he's known. So anyway, no nudity. Almost got some nudity there with Gretchen Corbett in the shower, and but a lot of snake bites, a little bit of gore because of that, and yeah. So anyway, just a typical early 80s or late 70s in this case horror movie. So I like this movie, but it's ridiculous, but whatever, right? And of course there was that blooper kind of scene on the train when the snake attacks the guy. You can clearly see the reflection of the glass that he's protected by, and when the snake launches at him to bite him, you can actually hear him thump against the side of the glass instead of his face. Whatever. Anyway, check it out. It's called Jaws of Satan. You can get it on this Blu-ray from Scream Factory. Great job, Scream Factory. This copy looks magnificent. All I had was an LP copy to compare it to. Wow, they really cleaned this thing up. It looks great. So kudos to Scream Factory. Go buy this Blu-ray because they deserve it. Watch it. Let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments down below. It's called Jaws of Satan, or as the title screen here was, King Cobra. Watch it. Bye.